Hi, all. Welcome to Pump Up the Jam, where we give you the latest on Meghan Markle, Prince Harry, and American Riviera Orchard. I'm Kinsey Schofield.
And I'm Cristo in London. Hello, Kinsey. How are you? What has been going on in the world of the Duchess of Dog Biscuits and the deluded Duke?
I mean, a lot of negativity, quite honestly. Latest reports. First of all, I mean, within the next 48 hours, we're getting a Harry and Meghan's sighting. I guess I should say within the next 24 hours, we're getting a Harry and Meghan sighting. They are both expected to attend the ESPY Awards in Los Angeles, California. Serena Williams, Meghan Markle's friend, is who we expect to see in Harry's upcoming Polo series on Netflix, is the host of that event. And really,
Is this sorry to jump in, but is this a different award ceremony to the Pat Tillman one?
no, this is where Prince Harry is expected to collect his Pat Tillman Award for service.
Okay. Well, we'll talk more about that in just a second. We probably should say, because I was very rude jumping ahead with you, Kinsey, we should also say that we're going to talk about what Hugo Vickers had to say about potentially Harry coming back into the fold. Meghan's new cookery show has stopped filming, but yes, it does sound like anyone who is going to be attending this awards ceremony might need a couple of glasses of rosé because, well, you've been covering all week, haven't you, Kinsey, the controversy around this Pat Tillman Award. Just remind us what the award is for anyone who's new and why it's so controversial.
It's a award for service and sports. It's where, military service meets sports. So Prince Harry vaguely falls under the category when it comes to Invictus Games, period. The pushback is Prince Harry receiving it when there are so many other people that are so much more worthy of it, that need that platform, that need that spotlight. We hear about Invictus Games every few weeks, legitimately, whether Prince Harry is appearing on Good Morning America or whether they are in Nigeria courting for an Invictus
Yeah.
Games.
Sometimes we even hear about the athletes that are competing in Invictus Games as well,
Sometimes,
rather
yeah.
than just Meghan and Harry. And well, last week you and I were talking, weren't we, about because of course this Pat Tillman being such a beloved figure in America, his family, his mother, the petition that gained loads of signatures saying that Prince Harry was not really eligible to receive this award. And we were saying, weren't we, on last week's episode, that give it to the person that cleans the chemical toilets and arranges those at the Invictus Games. If you're going to give it to someone who is making a difference in sport, well, it's going to be, and you want to honour Invictus, it's going to be the people who put together the nuts and bolts of the games. Do you know, in the comments last week on YouTube, people actually were trying to track down the person who arranges the chemical toilets for the Invictus Games? So we love you, YouTube viewers. We love the people who comment. We are still trying to confirm the names that you've come up with of who sorts out the chemical toilets at the Invictus Games, but we still think they're a more worthy recipient. So this award is taking place in the next 24 hours.
Yes, and a Harry and Meghan sighting on the horizon. I'm curious to see what he says. I'm hoping that he says this is not an award for me. This is an award for the Invictus Games. I highly doubt he'll acknowledge the family, the Royal Foundation, and the family, and the people, the gray suits that actually navigated truly creating the Invictus Games in, for Prince Harry, giving somebody that has little to no actual skills a fun little project.
And by the way, financed by his brother, if I'm not wrong, as well. The Prince William's Foundation money went towards. So I wonder if he'll get a mention or an acknowledgement. What do you think? I wonder.
But Meghan might, so they can get that nice little shot into the audience of her like seal clapping.
Yeah, that's exactly. Of course, looking on proudly, head tilt. She's got the Diana head tilt down as well, hasn't she? So she can look on proudly at her husband. So he is actually going to turn up then. There is no question that he has decided not to take this award.
Grant Harold, who is his former butler, has said that he wouldn't be surprised if Prince Harry turned down the award. You're seeing opinion pieces coming out of the state of Arizona, where Pat Tillman attended college, played college football, played for the Arizona Cardinals professionally. I mean, that was what people probably considered his home. Despite being from California, I think he probably really was an Arizona boy. And you're seeing those opinion pieces coming out of the state of Arizona that Prince Harry is no Pat Tillman and should not accept the award. But the reality is this is all a part of a bigger plan, and that plan is to change public perception. So they're trying to, this is going to air on ABC, one of the biggest news networks. Anybody with an antenna television can watch ABC. You know, this is huge for the Sussex brand, and they're trying to tell people that they should like Harry and Meghan because they're martyrs. That's basically what the strategy is.
Yeah, I mean, if I was doing their PR, I don't think I would be accepting this kind of award from in the name of a figure who is so beloved in the States. And it's the most controversial award from what I understand, and from what your reporting has been saying, from what many of the opinion pieces you're quite right have said. This is a PR disaster for them to accept this award. Apparently, and I know, again, this is something you've been reporting on a lot this week, Prince Harry is, and I quote, stunned by the backlash towards this award. I mean, does Prince Harry just remain in a continual, perpetual cycle of either being stunned,
or
victimized,
stunned or stoned?
Yeah, you're right. It was a typo. Prince Harry is apparently stoned at the acceptance of this award. I mean, he just seems to be in this like perpetual cycle of victimhood, doesn't he? Oh, I'm stunned. I'm sad. I've got the small bedroom.
So hurt.
All of this stuff. Why is everyone against me as I sit here in my $100 million mansion with my millions and millions of pounds from Netflix, and the millions that my mother left me, and the millions that my grandmother left me, and the millions that my great grandmother left me as well? Oh, boo hoo!
Yeah, maybe
really
it's
sad.
because you're in.
Maybe. At what point would you start saying, maybe it's not the world, maybe it's me? Maybe I am the problem. What point, when you have cognitive behavioral therapy, Kinsey, it is important to realize that sometimes it's not all about you, but sometimes it is.
Exactly. I did read one PR person in the States say, and I thought that this was an important, it's an important thing that Harry and Meghan's team should be worried about. Will future organizations hesitate to give him awards knowing how much negative feedback they could be bringing on themselves? Well, or is it like all attention is good attention, so we'll take the negative attention too?
I remember a time, Kinsey, and I know I'm a little bit older than you, but I remember a time where you used to give an award to someone or an organization because they'd achieved something, because they'd done something. And so,
but this is Hollywood.
What do they do? I mean, again, what do they do? What do they actually do to warrant getting an award? This is almost like the most full
up because people will tune in to the ESPYs on ABC because they're curious to see what Prince Harry has to say. If he's going to acknowledge this backlash, what is Meghan Markle going to wear? They're like a train crash. You can't look away. And that's what they do is they show up and they get attention on whatever award ceremony that is handing them the trophy. And I'm sure that when Meghan got that award in New York, I can't even tell you what it is anymore. I've already forgotten. I don't remember. I'm sure that was one of the issues that they had with it, because the next day we weren't talking about Meghan Markle's award. We weren't talking about this foundation. Instead, we were all talking about the snail car chase that happened throughout the streets of New York City. So we know that their ultimate objective is to get attention for the cause. But
that's a good point. Do you think that there might be an attempt by them for a positive spin on this award? Will there be a scuffle with the paparazzi when they leave? Will there be some form of martyrdom that is sprinkled onto this award to make it all about them? We will have to wait and see.
I'm sure that they will, the cameras will flash tomorrow night at the ceremony. I'm sure the camera will find the one person standing outside with the Harry and the I love Prince Harry sign, on this, on the streets of Los Angeles. And they'll be like, see, everybody loves Harry and Meghan. Or I just want to stress too, because I've done a ton of these award shows. I've worked a ton of these award shows. When somebody takes the stage, there are monitors in this beautiful arena, or where, the venue, that will say applause. So what, we're going to see all the people on Twitter that are like, do you hear those roaring applause? The reality is there is a sign flashing that says applause, 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 instructing
So
you.
it's sort of a hostage situation for the audience, isn't it? They know they can't get out unless they applaud. So just keep applauding and you'll be able to leave eventually. The doors are locked. If you don't clap enough, you will not be leaving.
No, but like
ceremony.
it is kind of a situation. Like I'm not going to use the word hostage because I don't want to get in trouble. But there are seat fillers, and if you have to use the restroom, you can't use the restroom until like commercial breaks, or until they assign a seat filler to come sit down for you, so that if they do a shot of the audience, it doesn't look empty in any way, shape, or form. So it is a production. It's all a production. Like, don't sit at home and watch and think, how authentic. Like, it is all very well planned out.
Well, of course, because they are now cheap reality stars. So why not be in a reality production? And yeah, I hope the award doesn't suffer going forward because, of course, from what I understand, there have been some worthy recipients in the past. I think that you raise a really good point about who would want to give them an award going forward, unless it's for dog biscuits. You never know. There might be a dog biscuit award. They might have produced the best dog biscuits going, so we shouldn't count them out on that one, Kinsey.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, they should definitely aspire.
Now, it's not just, of course, dog biscuits that Meghan has been cooking up, because you've also been keeping an eye, haven't you, on this cooking show that is apparently wrapped filming for Netflix. So, firstly, congratulations to them. It appears they have finished a project. They've finished a project. They've finished something. It looks like. I mean, are we right on this?
Yeah, it's according to the Daily Beast that Meghan was shooting a cooking program in Montecito, someone else's home. She wasn't shooting it within her own home. And this is the show that was teased as a gardening, entertaining, cooking, and friendship program. I think we can expect to see it within the next 6 months, because we know Limonada is holding off on her podcast until 2025 because they don't want to compete with this. So I believe within the next 6 months, we'll see this roll out. And if the initial reports are true, that Netflix is hoping to align itself with American Riviera Orchard to kind of stake their claim and monetize off of any success of the show, then we'll probably see those tangible items go up on the website around the same time that we see the launch of this cooking show, hand in hand, to try to, take advantage of any sort of PR blitz that exists.
Well, the PR consultant, Mark Bukowski, told the Daily Beast that this series could be a relaunch to something new and interesting for
That's
Meghan.
interesting. When Meghan was literally shopping this show before she met Prince Harry, she is going backwards. Like, I'm so sick of people being like, this is it. This is the big reveal. She is going backwards. Like, if you read Tom Bower's Revenge, he goes into how she was having all of these meetings with different agencies with the objective of being a traveling cooking show host. I mean, all she's doing is now like traveling to a neighbor's house, but this is her cooking show.
But is she going backwards or is she going forwards? Because now she's got a hook in order to make this show interesting to people, and that is the hooks she put into Prince Harry. And so is she just being smart that, okay, this idea was a load of old toot, a couple of years ago, but now actually there's a reason for people to watch it because, Harry might be in the background. I love the fact, by the way,
which he always is. Remember, it was the video with Melissa McCarthy where he popped up juggling in the back window for her 40, for like asking people to donate time, her 40 hours video for her 40th birthday that never came to fruition. Like, we never heard about that again. And then there was another, didn't he pop on a call, or he popped on the Serena Williams podcast or something to say hi? Like, Harry, that is crucial that she includes Prince Harry. Otherwise, no one's interested.
So that's going to be a really odd thing to shoehorn in, though, isn't it? Because, of course, as you mentioned, they're not doing it in their home. I mean, I love the fact they're like, we don't want anyone near. I don't want the crew coming in here. I don't want people anywhere near lowly people. So, what? How are they going to shoehorn Harry in? What, he just happens to have been passing this home that they're using as a set. You know, at least if it was at their home, he could say, "Oh, sorry, I just popped in to get a bag of chips because I'm completely stoned and I've got the munchies." You know, at least he could have a reason.
I don't think that they'll acknowledge that it's someone else's home, because their entire Netflix Harry and Meghan series was filmed elsewhere too, and they didn't say we're not in our home right now, but they made it look warm and cozy, like it was in their home.
Okay, so these are the TV clips that they will be using. So, how does gardening, food, and friendship? I mean, that's an odd combination. Well, I suppose she could dig up the food from the garden and then chop it all up, and then she's probably going to pay some extras to come in and be the friends, right? Is she?
Well, I'm sure Serena Williams might make a cameo, since she's already going to be on the Polo show. Abigail Spencer remains her friend. I think it's her one friend that she keeps from Suits. She is friends with another woman who's also friends with Abigail Spencer. Jennifer Myers, who was married to Tobey Maguire for a little bit, but now she has a jewelry line, has always been nice to her and sends her swag. So, but I mean, for the most part, Elton John seems to have dropped off. We haven't seen like Elton John really talk about, well, I take that back. Maybe Elton John is distancing himself because they actually are suing someone together right now. So maybe they are trying to just keep things professional. And then,
yeah, true. But then also, if at some point Elton needs to work out, is he Team Harry or Team William? Because of course, you know, he played at both their mother's funeral, you know, and he vowed to sort of be in their lives. He obviously lent them his jet shortly after they'd given some hints about, you know, being more environmentally friendly, and so I wonder how that went down with William. I mean, Elton is actually in quite a difficult position. So if I were Elton, I would not want to sever the royal connection by being too cozy with Meghan and Harry, because of course it is coming down to, are you Team William, are you Team Harry?
Well, and then Amal Clooney has distanced herself since the wedding.
I also know who won't be in it as well, and that's Taylor Swift.
Yeah. Lost, but they were never friends. She was friends with Amal Clooney. I haven't seen her engage with Priyanka Chopra. I mean, all of these celebrities have fallen off. Really, Serena Williams and Abigail Spencer are the only ones that I have seen maintain a relationship with her. We haven't seen her with Ellen DeGeneres recently. Ellen just canceled a slew of stand-up shows that these were supposed to be her big comeback shows. I don't know if she canceled them because she wasn't selling, or if you know, the reaction was bad, because she was really standing up there trying to defend herself against this mean girl reputation she's developed. You know, we have seen Kris Jenner post the jam weeks after receiving it, but does Meghan want to risk going full on Kardashian? So I do think that the people she has around her table are the friendship element. That is a real mystery. You know, there are a lot of people have distanced themselves.
You know, it's so interesting to me because, of course, the royal family is in the most precarious and unique position it's been in for a long, long time, with, of course, the illness of Princess Catherine, the illness of King Charles, Princess Anne, we've seen recently having to be out of commission. If the cynical side of you was saying that, look, all that Meghan and Harry really wanted, probably driven by Meghan, was this worldwide fame and notoriety and being integral and not wanting to play, you know, second fiddle to all of these other royal family members, what amazing prominent role could they have been playing over the last couple of years? I do wonder, or last year, certainly.
The last 6 months, otherwise they're useless, but yes.
Yeah, but seriously, I mean, I do wonder if they're sitting there saying, oh, gosh, you know what?
all of these people that aren't replying to us anymore, all of these people that were scrambling around trying to get involved in our projects, we could be triple A-list had we just hung on and stayed in the UK, because
no, because they're never wrong. They're never wrong. They're sitting back saying, I told you so, because they are never wrong, and they're never.
Do you think that dissonance, do you think that cognitive dissonance is still there now, even when there are reports saying, look, we've got so few senior members of the royal family? I mean, Meghan, the PR Meghan could have had by having to step up and take on some of Princess Catherine's duties.
Nope. That was never going to. She wanted to be treated equally, despite the fact that she will never be queen. And that she goes to bed at night haunted by the fact that she will never be queen. She was so close. But no, I had Fox News reach out to me and ask me about this, saying, what is your reaction to this story that Meghan Markle wants to squash the beef and she's feeling really, sympathetic towards the Princess of Wales? And I was like, that is not true. That's a completely, Meghan's entire focus right now is the launch of American Riviera Orchard and her Netflix series. I said, whatever empathy she's actually capable of, which is a huge question mark, I'm sure she does feel some sympathy for the Princess of Wales, but she is not sitting back thinking about Catherine or King Charles. And Cristo, you and I both saw that when she launched American Riviera Orchard weeks after the king announced his cancer diagnosis. And Nacho posted dog biscuits within 24 hours of the Princess of Wales's really heartfelt and emotional statement.
That's a doubling down. That's a doubling down of now, ladies and gentlemen, this isn't for you, Kinsey, but I'm looking at the camera now. Ladies and gentlemen, every now and then I like to trigger Kinsey by saying something, and I'm going to trigger her now. So just watch the reaction. Of course, what might happen though at some point, and you never know, is that we might end up with King Harry and Queen Meghan.
Just kidding.
You hate that. You hate it when I say that. You hate it so much when I say that. Even the thought brings you out in hives. Don't start crying, please. Don't cry. Don't cry. Hey, well, this takes us nicely actually to this apparent comeback, because according to Hugo Vickers, who is the royal author who co-wrote Prince Edward, the Duke of Kent's 2022 memoir, A Royal Life, Prince Harry will one day permanently return to the UK, but it will be without Meghan Markle. This is the claim of Hugo Vickers. What do you think? Because certainly to me, it does look like Harry and Meghan are in love. I mean, look, love or loathe them, and love or loathe what they do. It doesn't look to me like that marriage is going to be coming to an end at any point. But what do you think of this?
I do feel like inevitably Prince Harry is going to stop being. Prince Harry went almost 40 years of his life having everything done for him, and now he's having to hustle. And I don't think that he enjoys that. I don't think he enjoys going to bed at night worrying about if Netflix is going to give them a renegotiated contract. I just don't think that that's something that he's comfortable with. I think that when you grow up in such a life of privilege, because let's be honest, he's paying a PR team a lot of money to reach out to people like ESPN and the Aviation Awards and to make these contacts with John Travolta, so John Travolta can put a good word for him. And at the, like they're paying people to make these introductions and to get them on their radar. That's a lot of money that's going out for security, for public relations, for their 16 bathrooms. That's a lot of toilet paper. Prince Harry's not used to having to hustle. I think that he's going to become exhausted of chasing the limelight, which is something Meghan's been doing since, Meghan grew up in that environment. Prince Harry didn't. He's always rejected.
And Meghan, love or loathe her, she's a grafter and she's a hustler. I mean, yeah. You've got to give her credit.
And I do think that that's going to be where they clash. That might be what ultimately breaks down the relationship. But I agree with Valentine Lowe, who wrote Courtiers, who says that Prince Harry would never leave his children in the States, and California laws say that Meghan Markle would end up with those babies. And I just don't think Prince Harry would ever leave his children here in America and go back to work. Maybe 20 years from now when they're adults, but I don't see it happening while they're still children.
Yeah, I suppose, Harry did grow up in a life where the only number he used to have to worry about in bed was the phone number of his dealer. Whereas now he has to actually worry about sort of household bills, expenses, the number of his PR firm, all of these sorts of things, and the number of his dealers still, obviously. I think you raise a good point about a life of hustling as opposed to a life of service. But also, I wonder if the point you made earlier as well stands with him as well, that stubbornness that this will work, whatever, even if I'm not enjoying it anymore. I'm going to stick to my guns because this is the decision I've made. I cannot come back to the UK with my tail between my legs. And also, would they let him? I don't know whether they let him. The longer it goes on, the less likely that I think that there will be any kind of reconciliation. When the day comes that King Charles is no longer with us, and hopefully that's quite far off, Harry and William, Prince Harry and Prince William, will have to, perhaps to a point, reconcile. And I think that will be very interesting to see how it plays out then. But certainly in the near future, I can't see any kind of reconciliation.
Right. I don't either. And if Prince Harry is willing to completely abandon his family for a random divorced Hollywood actress, how can you trust him going forward that he won't meet somebody else or put the family in jeopardy in the future some other way?
Well, they were the stars of the show. They really were. They were welcomed here with open arms. There were a few dodgy newspaper articles. No one can deny that. But in general, they were absolutely loved. And then they left. They went. And that was it. And also, it's whether the public will forgive that, because they are acutely aware of the British public, certainly the older British public, being very, very unforgiving towards them both. And that includes Harry, of course. That's it. That's all we've got time for.
Thanks so much for watching. If you agree with us, let us know in the comments below. If you disagree with us, you can let us know in the comments below too. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you again next week.